In the history of any sport, there are certain names that just resonates. They mean something more. When you say the name Sir Viv Richards, you're not just talking about a cricketer. You're talking about an aura, a presence, a kind of dominance that literally changed the game. So let's dive into the story of the man they call King Viv.
And really, there's no better place to start than with the words of the guys who had to face him. This is from Dennis Lilly, one of the fastest, most terrifying bowlers of all time. I mean, for a guy like Lilly to say it was about level, that's not just respect. That's him basically admitting he was up against a true force of nature.
So, how does a guy get a reputation like that? Well, to really get the legend, you have to understand the presence he had at the crease, the sheer intimidation, really. And this was all before he'd even faced a single ball.
It all comes down to one word, really: swagger. But for him, this was no act. It was a projection of complete and total self-belief. Just try to picture this. You've got the world's fastest bowler steaming in, and this guy just strolls out, cool as you like, chewing his gum, with no helmet for protection. It was a psychological weapon. He was telling the other team, "You can't touch me. I'm in charge here." Okay, but that kind of confidence, that doesn't just appear out of thin air, right? So where did it come from? How was a figure like this created? For that, we've got to go all the way back to his beginnings in the Caribbean. This timeline shows his journey was anything but a straight line. Just look at that. 1969, he gets a 2-year suspension. He's only 17 years old. For most people, that's game over. Your career is done before it starts. But for Viv, it seems like it just forged that famous defiance he had. Think about it. Just 5 years after that, he's making his debut for the West Indies. That's an incredible comeback. So long before anyone was calling him King Viv, he's this young guy getting told, "No, you're not good enough," by a pro team in England. And what does he do? Does he pack it in and go home? Nope. He takes a job as an assistant groundsman, just so he could stay near the game and keep that dream alive. See, that swagger wasn't just given to him. It was earned. It was built on rejection and pure, unbreakable will. And boy, did that hard work pay off. We're now getting into the period where Viv Richards and the whole West Indies team were, well, they were pretty much the most dominant force in all of sports, period. Let's just start with a number: 1,710. In 1976, Viv Richards scored that many runs in Test cricket. That number stood as the world record for 30 years. And get this, he did it in just 11 matches. But what's maybe even crazier is his average during that insane year, a flat 90.00. Now, to give you some perspective, a career average of 50 is what makes you an all-time great. Viv held an average of 90 for a whole year against the best bowlers on the planet. But see, it was never just about how many runs he scored. It was about how he scored them. This chart right here says it all. It shows his strike rate, basically how fast he scored, was over 90. The average for all the other top batsmen of his time? Barely 66. He wasn't just ahead of his time, he was basically playing a different game from everyone else.
And of course, when the lights were brightest, he delivered. The West Indies won the first 2 World Cups ever. And guess who was right at the center of it all? In 75, it was his unbelievable fielding that won them the final. Then, in 79, he does it with a bat, a massive 100. The guy was the ultimate clutch player. But Viv was so much more than just this destructive force with a bat in his hand. He became a leader, a captain, and a really powerful symbol for West Indian pride, and importantly, principle. And this slide, this really gets to the heart of who he was as a man. On the field, as captain, untouchable. The only West Indies captain to never lose a test series. But look at the right side. At the absolute peak of his fame and earning power, he was offered what they called a blank check. Basically, name your price, to play in apartheid South Africa. And he didn't just say no. He was insulted they even asked. For him, his principles were not for sale. That defiance you saw on the field, it was the real deal. And that kind of defiance, well, it leads to some pretty legendary stories. This might be the most famous one in all of cricket. In a county game, a bowler was getting frustrated because Viv had missed a couple of his deliveries. So he decided to have a word, giving him a little description of the ball, which, as it turns out, was a really, really bad idea. Because what happened next? The very next ball, Viv just launches it, a massive 6, completely out of the stadium. And then he just calmly turns to the bowler and drops that legendary line. It just perfectly sums up the man. Cool, defiant, and always, always letting his actions do the talking.
So you take all of that, the swagger, the stats, the leadership, the principles. And what do you get? You get a legacy that's, well, it's immortal, really. And his place in history was officially locked in right around the turn of the century.
I mean, the official honors really tell the story. In '99, he becomes Sir Viv Richards. A year later, 100 experts vote him one of the 5 greatest cricketers of the entire 20th century, right up there with guys like Don Bradman. And then, of course, a first ballot Hall of Famer in 2009, the absolute pinnacle. But in the end, maybe the highest praise comes from the guys who had to face him. This is from Wasim Akram, one of the greatest bowlers who ever lived. He bowled to everyone, all the modern legends. But for him, Viv was just something else, a class apart.
And that influence just rippled through the next generation of superstars. You think about the 2 guys who basically owned the next era, Sachin Tendulkar and Brian Lara. Both of them said Viv was the best they ever saw. He was their idol. His legacy isn't just in the numbers, it's in the greats he inspired.
Which brings us to the final question, really. You look at the game today, with all the helmets, the data analytics, the carefully managed personalities, and that mix of just raw talent, that pure self-belief, and that intimidating presence that defined Sir Viv Richards, it feels like it's from a whole different planet. Will we ever see his like again? Honestly, I really don't think so.